Good evening, friends. I am K.K. Gupta here. I'm a Director of Research in India and Director of Association for Financial Advisor of India. Today's webinar is most important webinar. In recent 2 to 3 days before, Honorable Prime Minister announced regarding the Anusandhan National Research Foundations, where they are pumping about approval about 1 lakh crore rupees and 20,000 crore rupees already given to these people for research and development. Today topic we are talking to discuss with you funding innovations, unlocking opportunity under India RDI schemes. What is RDI? That means Research, Development and Innovation Scheme. So you are aware that till date, the government are putting up the money for research and developments. Now the concept is undergoing a change for that. The private sector will also come to play a very important role for which the government of India will provide them funds. You know that is a very risky business. Research and development to have a commercialized, they can still, it is required. So for that, 1 lakh crore set aside, approved by the government, and for this current year, 20,000 crores will be given to the Anusandhan National Research Foundation, which was founded in 2023. That means the funds, they will provide to a second channel, second level of fund managers. That will be SPV, that can be AIF, DFI, NBFC, and others. And innovation schemes are being provided. Today, we are excellent speakers. I think research under the Research in India banner, we completed about 271 webinar. Beside the Association for Financial Advisor, which is our organizations, for which we are having more than 500 members with us. We have also conducted mostly every month one virtual webinar and conferences also in the respect. Today topic, I will not take much time because all 6 speakers are with us, who are eminent speaker in their fields, either technology field and a financial aspects, other thing. I think you will listen to these people, to our eminent speakers. We are with us Mr. Mehta, we are with us Mr. Iyer, Mr. Sinha, Mr. Patel, and again Patel, then Mr. Rawal. I think these are the eminent speakers on the subject we were talking about. What is research development? What is innovation required? Why the India government are putting such a huge money for the research and developments? So first of all, I am coming to Sri Divang Mehta. With over 20 years of experience across engineering, product management, marketing, and business development, he guided early stage of technology companies on their growth journey. He invests and advised startup through angel and personal investment, helping them to build scalable and sustainable business. Sir, Mr. Mehta, so you are expert for a startup, but we are talking about the startup. For research and development, innovations, how the startup, because when we are talking about the startup, so India occupies the 3rd position in world. And we have so many unicorn with us. And we are starting how research development innovations can play a role for the growth of the country, technology, and other things. How we can utilize these funds of 1 lakh crore rupees, 20,000 crore rupees set up for the current year. That is a major aspect. Because some entrepreneur is talking to me, how this fund was startup, because we are more interested for a startup. Startup people also join with us. We are more than 470 registration with us today. and they are listening to you personally and also electronic media. I think your views for a startup, because you are an expert for the, under the field, and you are investing partner investment also under the field, helping these people to scalable and sustainable business. I think is the most important aspect, Mr. Mehta sir.
Yes.
Please give your thought on that aspect, sir. Let me
Yes.
should be more practical, because theoretical everybody knows. Like, let me should be more practical. How the startup can be helped by these funds, and what is the technology innovation can be there, Mr. Mehta sir. Please.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Gupta, for having me on this webinar, and good to meet all the fellow panelists. So this question can best be addressed by, there are a few sectors, but let's take the biotech sector. And let's take an example of, let's say, startups are finding cures for cancer or diabetes on Indian soil, right? Now, if you're finding a cure for cancer, diabetes, or any other asthma, any deadly diseases, by definition, R&D intensive startup that takes years towards gestation, and it doesn't lend itself to the model of a traditional Indian VC, which is to invest in fast-growing and cash-producing consumer businesses, right? So there has to be patient capital that you put into a startup, or even a fund that invests in such startups. So this RDI scheme can go into two broad buckets. It can go directly into startups that are in the biotech field and have long and elongated paths towards IPO, or it can go into another fund that invests into these kinds of startups, like for example in the biotech sector. So if the capital is patient enough to invest in a company for 10, 15 years without supernormal gains, expectation of a 20% gain every year and all that, then that is the litmus test for a successful policy by the government of India into areas like this, which are of strong national interest and are R&D heavy.
Sir, point is that for a startup. So my question is how this RDI fund can be utilized by the startup, and what technology, because you are expert for that, engineering, product management, marketing, business development. I think you are expert on fields. How my startup people can be benefited, under what field, because they have also prioritized some sector to availment. Either you are talking about the defense research, are you talking about the biotech, what you are talking about, or talking
Yes.
about solar energy, or a clean climatic aspects. How you suggest my listener who was present here, who entrepreneur, who want to avail the facility under the RDI scheme, because your this recording, I must be sending to the government for your views also, that they should also record what we are talking about. I think this is the first webinar on the subject, because only Prime Minister announced 2 days before. What problem? Still, we are holding this workshop. I'm thankful to Mr. Bhavesh, under whose initiative this program was initiated, and you are especially invited for this program. And have any view on that startup, which startup they could start the industry, and that can be benefited to them.
Yeah.
Please.
So there are startups, biotech, climate tech also in many cases, which have a long path towards even revenue. And even after they get revenue, they might have longer paths towards profitability and definitely elongated path towards IPO or an exits. So you need entities like the government to be patient with their growth trajectory and invest in them either through equity or debt. These are the two, to answer your question directly, they can invest into startups through equity, debt, or grants, right? And these can be availed for startup for growth, for hiring engineers, for consummating R&D, for getting to market, for trying out different business models and pricing models. So, these things require capital that is above and beyond the thesis and needs of a traditional venture capital fund. So I think the government, in all humility, I'm not an advisor to the government. I'm in the startup ecosystem as an investor and as an advisor. But in my humble opinion, I think this patient capital is extremely valuable for industries like the ones you mentioned, as well as for defense and other areas critical to our economy and our national interests. These could easily avail of grants or infusions of any kind from the RDI scheme?
I think the better what you suggested, I think excellent. What is suggestion? Any suggestion to the government for a startup? Why I'm asking from you? You are
Yes.
expert for a startup. Any suggestion for the amendment of the scheme or anything you want to add or delete anything? Anything in your mind?
I think the goals of the scheme and the way it has been articulated thus far, the goals are pretty lofty and well aligned with the needs of such startups. So again, in all humility, as long as the people executing the schemes and making investments from this 1 lakh crore fund stick to the thesis, that is, not get impatient with a startup needing to generate cash flow in 3-5 years, or a fund of funds manager that is investing into biotech or drone or satellite or any critical area. They don't act like a traditional LP, a limited partner, in getting an IRR of 25% a year or something like that. As long as that thesis is stuck to, I think the RDI scheme would have met the goals it set out to achieve.
Thank you very much. That means you are appreciating the scheme can be useful for the startup.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That. Now I'm coming to respected Shri Jayaraman Iyer sir. He is a chartered accountant, bring a rare and global perspective to corporate management. A seasonal thinker, practitioner, he has been pioneered research at intersection of changing management, artificial intelligence, human-centric development, contributing deep insight into how organization can evolve responsibility and effectively in technology-driven area. Work reflects a lifelong commitment to strengthening the leadership, governance, and transformation policy for India and the world. I salute you, sir, for Mr. Iyer, such a big person with us, for an experienced person with us. Sir, this scheme, you feel that as a technology aspects, any bottleneck is there in advancing quantum or risk factor, whether a startup or entrepreneur can take a risk. Once taking higher risk, definitely higher dividend can be there. So what do you suggest? Funding talent, technology, or you suggest something else? Because you are expert in this line. So your opinion, I think, will be may considered by the government. I think it is a best platform where your expertise can be shared with our entrepreneur and to the government also. Please, Mr. Yusuf.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me to this great webinar. It's my pleasure to address this great forum. With regard to the startups, particularly on this RDI scheme, as I have indicated, is a amazing one which the government of India has come out with. What they have come out with is not some funding. It is not the funding of 100,000 crores. What is they have come out with is a movement taking India to a level beyond what the United States have done for the last about 250 years. And that is the one which is going to be remarkably well and adjusted to the startups. Startups are not the simply asking for such an innovative funding scheme. Funds are there. Funds are being given on a daily basis. The deal room boys do take into account the FinDD and vendor DD. In terms of millions of dollars are going on. But what is needed? It is particularly the fund managers to be the mentor for these startups. When the fund managers, particularly the government of India is offering, there must be the mentors between the fund managers and the startups for a governance DD. The governance DD is missing from the fund managers as on today. They are stopping with the FinDD. So the governance, particularly on the SYS governance, what we do, the balance sheet and P&L, is only the object governance. We do not go beyond the object governance at any point of time. But the subject governance, the persons who is coming into the taking the facility, particularly from the government, has to. I mean, there are so many government schemes out there for giving 50,000 rupees to the small scale people and all that. But this is totally different. We're talking about 100,000 crores. So those fit enough of that startups, of the individuals who are putting their brain onto the RDI is very important, is the growth of, I will call it a FMCG, that is fast moving corporate growth. The corporate growth of startups from today, by giving say an X rupee to do that, they must go by what the Akash missiles when it hit then Operation Sindur. Dr. Rao, who created that, said on sale, that is speed, agility, intelligence, and lethality. And this is what the startups have to do that. They got to do it in a speed. They have to identify what they want to do. And they have to have the agility. Because from what these people have done, particularly in the United States, about nearly $500 billion had been invested by them, put into AI. And they want to make money out of it is very important. And the only place where they can come and make money out of it, return on investment of that investment, is from this place. So they are not going to allow somebody else to flourish. There is a competition, mind you. And if you are going to come out of taking that agility must be there. Then intelligence is course not maneuvering those people. The pressures will be there for the people who, particularly for the startups. So we have seen in Akash missiles, we have done very good, but also the BrahMos, there was one of the guys who were with BrahMos had died. They don't want to do. This is a very critical area of RDI development in India. And that the intelligence must be that outmaneuver over. Any of the guys, competitors who are coming to disturb you, the competitors may be from anywhere. They don't want you to survive. Then lethality, target. The target Akash missile did, we all know, it just exploded in the right spot, not even 10 meters, about a meter ahead of that particular door. So that is the lethality is needed, target date. They have to fix the target date. They have to go speedily. They have to get their ideas transformed into a substance of quality. And the most important thing, we have called the patent office. In RDA, each and every investment that is being made by the government of India to a particular individual, you go to the patent office, get it patented. That is your originality. This is what I would like to tell. Thank you.
Very, very important, Sahaya. Excellent. So what your thoughts are very, very undertaken. Sir, you are expert for the technology driven. I think that is any suggestion to our startup or entrepreneur how the technology driven can be taken up and further to invest by the startup for the research development. It is a very risky venture. So have any suggestion for that, sir? Because you have such much a great experience being a chartered accountant also and technology aspects also. Have any views sir, on that?
So in the quantum computing,
Sir.
As against the AI, which has come in the normal computing that we have.
Sir.
AI has come and they have invested quite a bit. In the quantum computing, I'll just give one example of what is essential.
Sir.
The essential aspect is to bring in your human-centric design. That is, your denominator is the human energy, not your investment. This is very important. Only one company in the world, Microsoft, has come forward to do the human-centric design operating system. It's a very important aspect of what, and every other company all over the world will follow Microsoft. Let me tell you about it.
Right.
It's a human-centric. If there are 700,000 people in a particular company, and you got to find out EPP, effort per person, of each and every person. In a startup, you start with 2 people. may go towards about 200 people. Every person within the company, what they do in this sailing of speed and agility and whatnot, you got to find out what is the effort being put by that particular person in the subject object self-governance due diligence. Object is what is ultimately that is a patent. The subject is who the person, what they are doing. Self-governance is very important in terms of the character building. What I am doing is for my country. So any rupee that I'm getting from my country, I have to pay back. Is very, very important for me. And that is what the condition, the technology provides for it. And that technology is quantum building, the quantum computing. The quantum computing, I've written a detail about HACCP of quantum computing, hazard analysis and critical control points. Those critical control points we got to overcome. And I have analyzed what Nobel laureate Schrodinger or Nobel laureate Einstein have done. So it's an important aspect of quantum computing which opens up the opportunity for creating the human energy. Human-centric energy factors are very important.
Sir, important aspect. Actually, I am tempted to ask you so many questions. Like, time is short for me. Like, still, one question I am asking you. What you talking about the human-centric? Artificial intelligence, you are also talking about. After coming, the artificial intelligence is coming it will not replace the human being. What do you feel?
Artificial intelligence is trying to replace the humans. Human opportunities, the jobs are getting migrated to
that is
artificial.
That is point.
Artificial. Whereas HI, which I have brought, that is human intelligence, the industry 5.0 I've already declared, belonging to India with protocols, with Advaita principle, which is the science of metaphysics. And you have SOS governance standards and SVR, that's societal value redistribution. So this pass mark, PASS, this is the one which is going to be important for the purpose of ushering in the new theme of industry ethical operating system. And AI reduces the jobs. HI, each and every company, there are 318 process area, out of which 12 are quantitative and 300 balance of 306 are qualitative elements. Code of conduct, code of business principles, LODR 17 to 27. All of them have to be done and measured and rated. And that requires millions and millions of people in millions of the countries, millions of the companies. So HI is going to bring a lot of work, which is not being done. So far, we are running our organization on balance sheet and this thing, if you are talking about the startups in this particular RDI scheme, we are not talking in terms of giving the money and what they are doing and the returns in terms of filing a certain returns. We are asking what they are doing, the human energy. So that requires a lot of people to do in every company, everywhere in the world. So it is going to bring millions of people in this particular job. The number of jobs that are being going to created in HI revolution is enormous.
Thank you very much, sir. Excellent, sir. Excellent. I actually have so many questions. Like, the timing is very permitting. So we will time in it next time. We will see to it. Now
Definitely. Thank you.
Pramod Sinha, sir. Pramod Sinha, sir, is a design and technology leader over 25 years of global experience building scalable digital solutions across fintech, aviation, oil and gas, civic tech, and other sectors. A founder of Stand Up Design, he has worked across several countries, generating measurable business value and delivering high performance digital system. I think these are the order of the day. Digital banking we are talking about, digital things we are talking about. We are talking about artificial intelligence, something like that. So, Mr. Sinha, what is 360-degree design in tech development? I think this is most important subject. We
Thank
are
you.
talking about 360 design. And for a designing, whatever digital system we are talking about, how it can be help for a technology development, for a research development, for other things, how it can be help to them. Mr. Sinha, sir.
Thank you so much, Gupta sir. So I, like, I'm from a design background. I have invested 25 years in doing a lot of innovation in tech space. But just to, give you some perspective before I start with the subject. Uh, so before, when we talk about 10 years back, nobody is talking about design because everybody is talking about tech, because people think that tech is going to change the world. That is 100%, we can see how the tech is actually evolved over a period of time. But in that particular tech process, design was only one subset. But the way the whole new approach is taken globally, now design become the major perspective of anything that has to be get started. So when there is a tech process where design is one part of it, now design initiate tech process itself. you know so first we think from our brain, we analyze how these things can be done, and then it will be translated to a tech in order to achieve something. That is how it's changed over a period of time. Now we know India is good in terms of development and tech. There's a new opportunity which is coming along with tech, is that the design itself. So now the whole era is more digital, in a different way. So when we talk about digital perspective of design, it means that it can add values in terms of design innovation, in terms of you can say visual communication. But more on top of it, I can share one screen, so it will be more easier for you. It's okay for you. Just a second. Is there any possibility I can share the screen?
You can do it. You can do it. No problem.
Okay.
You want my person can help you. But
Can't see.
if you have would send to me, I will have shown to you that.
Can I share the screen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Give them here this across. Lokesh,
I can't share it.
how
But
them to do it.
so I'll give you a bigger perspective of design in terms of, business model design is itself is a subject.
Okay.
Communication design itself is a subject. Business model innovation itself is a subject. And, you can say design thinking itself is a subject. And when you think about design, it's not actually visual. It's basically 70% of the design itself is invisible that we see. Okay. If you talk about from a perspective of industry, we are working with oil and gas company, and we have transformed the whole oil and gas company by saving their 70% of operational cost. This is not only because of the technology, it's because of the design thinking that we have applied in all on those oil and gas company, and then we have implemented technology on top of it. And that is the power of design we have at this point of time. And good part is that design is actually becoming an industry of its own, because before the tech was the industry, now design is becoming an industry of its own. And for India, it's basically a huge opportunity that we can invest more on design, because there is no leader as such design in the global platform. Yeah, Germany cannot say they are design leader. Maybe you can say US cannot say that they are design leader. And because this whole landscape is quite open, I think India has a better positioning to become design leader for the whole globe. So I think this is one of the biggest opportunity which we have it now. And better we focus on design, a better technology we can build. Because if you invest $1 in design, gradually it will give you $100 of return. But when we talk about money, we talk about ROI. But once you invest that money into design in some manner, basically design help you to communicate immediately to your end customers without saying anything. So because design is a universal language, it cannot be communicated with the words. But the moment you see something, the moment you experience something, it does its job, like without feeling it, something like that. So design has that probability. If we apply design thinking process, if we apply design processes in the businesses, I think a lot of money businesses can save. It is equal to getting investment from outside. That is how I see a 360 degree of design in some manner. Yeah.
Very important, sir. That means designing is more important. For any technology, even designing is the most important thing, sir, for you. I'm not knowing at all. That's why I'm a layman for that. That means designing 1 rupee spend with 10 time you can build up the money, what you're talking about. I think it is a better that people should go for designing. No,
Exactly. So when I say, for example, trade is transactional,
sir.
design is transformational.
Oh, kya baat hai. Very nice, very nice. Good.
So
It
that
is
is the
enough
power
for
of
me, sir.
design which we have in with us. As in India, I think we have to take this league to move forward with it, sir.
That's what I'm also telling about the human-centric design.
Exactly.
You're right.
Sir.
Human-centric design is basically all the design processes build all keep the human in the center. There is a new subject in design at this point of time is humanity-centric design. That is one of the top thing. Like a lot of people who are into design process, they are actually doing a lot of research on that direction.
Now we have some architect with us. So he is Mr. Ashish Patel, Senior Principal AI Architect, Orlex. That means Mr. Ashish Patel is author and data scientist and researcher with 12 year plus year of professional experience, including 8 years in data science and artificial intelligence research, spanning predictive modeling, future engineering, machine learning, and deep learning. He currently serves as a senior person on the Oracle. I think he's the person who is expert in the artificial intelligence, data science, and also researcher, data scientist also. So, Mr. Patel, have any view regarding this research and development innovations scheme? How you feel that your data scientist or research project can be helpful to our entrepreneurs? Have any view on that, Mr. Patel?
Yes, sir. So basically, the research, like what we are talking about nowadays, the research is become easy with the help of AI itself. But the real research need a foundation, strong foundations, and we all have like a different background of the people in the AI, which is like because AI itself very vast, right? And nowadays, with the help of AI, research become easy and easy in the say that like you can just search any single word and AI will give you the brief about that topic, and with the help of that topic you can just go deep dive into that and by exploring the research paper. So in India, like I had also the work experience to work with the universities as well, where I see that I guide the research my research students on MTech, Master of Computer Engineering, and I see that like in India, there need to be a trend to read the research paper every day because I'm also the book author of the Hands-on Time Series Analytics with Python, where I published my book with a Springer publication. But except that, I am a very keen researcher, and I found that like research should not like activity of like only for the engineering or let's say for any research people or research scholar. It should be the activity of every graduates, so they can aware about like okay what is happening in the industry basis on the keen interest they can explore. And as Pramod sir also said, like design thinking is equally important in that part. I'm also the design thinking certified from IBM. I was formerly working for IBM. And so I have experience with the quantum as well. I'm working in a quantum since last 9 years. So I solved around one of the complex problem is like traveling salesman problem and NP hard NP complete problem with the quantum as well. So why I'm telling this all because I got exposure these all things from the research. So in India there is a lot of potential on the research side and also on AI side as well. So everyone should take these opportunity as Indian government promoting the research like CSIR is there, then also the like a big research group, open research group is there, right? So everyone should take this research to the next level. And yeah, always like what like a reading like what a research reading group is also there. So like we can also promote some new level of the research with some implementation, and by taking the collaboration with the startup or for any company, we can make a research prototype as a product as well. So yeah, research is also come to the prototype to the industry as well.
Mr. Ashish, so you are a author, you are a researcher also, you are a data scientist also. What is your suggestion to our entrepreneurs? How your research can be useful to our entrepreneurs who are listening to you, because they are also young entrepreneurs who want to do something, who are startup also. So we are also trying to help the startup. Can you say something from your experience, or from your author, or from your data scientist, or from a researcher point of view?
Yeah, so like
Especially from this
so
side? Yes,
yes.
please, please, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
From the research side, I can say that because in research, every problem is like something which is a pinpoint, which like a researcher are trying to find out, right? So nowadays, I will tell you one research point is like, let's say everyone is using AI and something like that. So in research, when AI like ChatGPT kind of tool was coming on November 2022, that time the tool has a limited knowledge, right? I will tell you just one example. And that time, like whenever we want to try to understand the new knowledge, right? So new knowledge is something which is that model do not have access, or let's say ChatGPT do not have access. That time, when we wanted data or any something new, we have to rely on the Google that time only, right? Then by the time new innovation was come into the picture and RAG is coming to the picture, retrieve augmented generation, which is really the new buzzword, and one company is come to the market is that is a perplexity.ai. They come to the web access, and you can get a latest update data. So these are the innovation, kind of small innovation of the research tool. So when you read this kind of the research, you can add more and more feature into the any product, right? So reading the research is always help you to see the new perspective of the world, as we can say that 360 point of view. We can learn something. Bias way always coined this word is 360 view. So 360 view is always give us the something new, like if we are lacking something. And yeah, research is also is all about, like we can't say that every single research will help you out, but definitely all small research will create the big product, right? So that's how we see the quantum, that's how we see the Google search, that how we see the, like any industry, in any industry there is a research, and after that small innovation, these all our life, whatever we are using our day-to-day life, that become possible, right? So research is a foundation of anything.
Very good, very good. You are working in Oracle. So you just tell me this fund which they are created by the government of 1 lakh crore rupee, 20,000 crore rupee during this year only.
Hmm.
How can be helpful for a research? Have any view on that?
Yeah.
As a
So,
private investor, they can be benefited for that, private entrepreneurs for that.
yeah. So private investor definitely get a benefit from that, because Indian government has invested. So like Piyush Goyal sir has invested on GPU, but yeah, India has invested very lately in a infrastructure or GPU infrastructure, which is we have to invest very soon. But yeah, they have taken the step, so it's a very big thing for India as well. So yeah, they are providing the GPU infrastructure at the like per hour 67 rupees GPU, right? And like affording like normal, actually standard GPU prices is starting from the 5 lakh to 60 lakh rupees. So
Sure,
I am talking about whatever the LLM model, right? ChatGPT kind of model
sure, sure.
take to load around 1,25,000 GPUs. So one GPU costs 60 up to 60 lakh rupees. So
Sure.
these are, we can say that itself a supercomputers. So ChatGPT is working behind the supercomputer kind of technology. Anthropic is working behind. So yeah, for the private players, if they want to do that, about like they want to advantage of this infrastructure, so they can rent this GPU from the Indian government. So every company can design their own product, design their own AI models basis on the business requirements. And most fundamental thing is like they have to first develop the team, because without AI team, which kind of the infrastructure you require? Because I'm pretty sure I work with a lot of big companies as well, including Nvidia, including AMD, including so I understand that like there is a gap between the business understanding and actually the infrastructure needed. So for that fulfillment, you always have to take a help of expert who knows how to fine tune how these model work, how GPU architecture work. So basis on the requirement, so that help you to decide the cost. Like okay, for the business person, it's like okay, if I can design these product and if I need a AI system, how much it costs to the particular business. So burning become lesser, right? So I'm thinking bit practically on this point of view, because I spent around a 13 year on just because I also like burn the 2 GPUs in my life lifetime duration of the life to train the AI models. So yeah, this is the advice. Like we can get a maximum benefit of Indian government invested in the GPU infrastructure.
Actually, I agree with you, Mr. Shist, because the gross expenditure of research and development stand at roughly at 0.6% of our GDP in India, which is far below the global average of 2.6% of their GDP. So India is coming up very, very low. Lekin now government has coming out a research and development innovations. I think the huge fund are being pumped into that. I think that will be useful for the India because we are depending upon the research of other people. Now we ourselves want to develop some research so that we can be self-sufficient. I think that is mantra, that Vikshat Bharat, what we are talking about. I think that is a more important thing. Now I
Yes,
am coming to
I,
architect of this program, who has made this program, who told me that Gupta, let we should do it, research development program. So we can awaken the entrepreneurs, how they can utilize the money from the government. That can be helpful to build up the India or Vikshat Bharat. So I'm talking about Bhavesh Patil sir, who is a founder, director of Appellants Business Solution Private Limited, a multi-solution financial platform delivering end-to-end advisory across investment banking, private credit, MSME, which is my best subject, growth financing, with 23rd year, 23 year plus year of leadership experience spanning assets management, banking, private equity, infrastructure finance. He is recognized as a visionary in investment banking and fintech, with a strong focus on private credit and infrastructure funding. I have no word for any appreciation for Mr. Bhavesh because I used to talk to him and he is my mentor. He always guiding me in how to have a growth in the business and how we should participate for the growth of the SME sector or other sector. So Bhavesh sir, what is the, you feel that funding gap? We are always talking about the gap. There are huge gap in all sector. When we talk about SME sector, in other sector, so many things are there. So there is also gap in a research, innovation, and tech development ecosystem. What do you feel that? How this gap can be bridged? And what is your suggestion to the government? Because you know the scheme much better. Any suggestion to the government from your side? Because you are have a separate vision. You are helping the SME sector, you are helping the banking sector, you are helping the fintech sector, and you have a strong focus on the private credit and infrastructure funding. So please give your thoughts in that subject, how this gap can be bridged. Mr. Patil, sir.
Yes, thanks a lot, Gupta ji, once again having me for this very great session on the technology. Although I'm not a technocrat, but I call it a financial evangelist technocrat. So, considering, the current scenario, when we compare the India's dream of Viksit Bharat 2047, and when we see the market, especially the US, Europe market, or Japanese market, or Chinese market, especially now, where the R&D is a great focus for these countries. And for many years, we have not seen so many, Nobel laureate, which is the evidence that, India is not spending much on the R&D. One figure says that we spend only 0.7% of the GDP in the R&D. So I always used to say my client that, garbage in, garbage out. So if we do not invest in the R&D, India cannot be the great destination for the global products. So R&D investment is must, not only in terms of having the edge over the first mover advantage, but also in this current era of AI and the quantum computing, we are talking about fast mover advantage. So first mover versus fast mover advantage, we need to have a combo effect, to be ahead in the race, if we are targeting 2047 Viksit Bharat. Point number one, from the government perspective. Second perspective is the subject of, I call it a deep state thinking, along with the 360 design thinking. So, from the technology perspective, when we are talking about subject like deep state, where, India, doesn't have our own YouTube, our own Google, our own Chat GPT, our own, search engines, we don't have the, kind of a fundamental base or an infrastructure to build on, and keep, ourselves ahead of times. So these are very, very important initiatives from government of India. Although I don't think that this budget is enough, aligning the objective of Viksit Bharat 2047. Currently, the GDP rate which we are progressing, by 2047, you can imagine that where US will be, where China will be. Forget about the other countries, but only two countries if we benchmark, where we see ourselves, possibly in the third position. But if you want to be the, so-called, they say, Vishwa Guru, and, kind of a superpower, I believe that only technology and R&D led investment make you the superpower. The other area, which can enable the superpower, kind of a role or a position, whether be it aerospace or defense, or any other, knowledge economy or a tech economy, it has to be R&D driven. Point number one. Other thing is, the R&D cannot be kind of a compulsion to anybody. It has to be in the mindset and the culture and in the DNA of the people, where China has proven this thing, time and again. Like I used to say that 78 GDP India and GDP China was almost equal. And now where we see ourselves, so this is very, very important. So gaps are there. It's a very good initiative, but it is not enough. We have to do many more things for, this kind of initiative. Yes.
Mr. Bhavesh, what I feeling it, what is the impact of this 1 trillion RDI funds on the research? Have any view on that? Whether this, what you're talking about, this fund is very minimum, because this year only 20,000 crore they want to invest. Total approval is 1 lakh crore, because still they want to have a 20,000 crore only for this. You see that this 20,000 crore will be impact on the research and development project or anything else, or further some funds are required, because now they open to a private sector. You see, government about 76% or 77% government was investing. Even the private sector was only 30% or 22%. That too, by a big project. Big people are investing. Big industries are investing for research and development. For a small startup also, they never think in that line. So what impact you feeling for this 1 lakh crore rupees for on the research and development? Have any thought on the subject?
Yes. So as I said that current spend on the R&D, is 0.7% of the total India's GDP.
Sure.
This is not at all enough for sure. Now, this initiatives of 100,000 crores
Who is
is
speaking? Please, who is speaking? Please stop here. Stop. Haji sir. बोलिए sir. Hello. Sir, please.
Sir, there's a senior doctor visiting here. So
No problem. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. I'm not aware that it is from your side only.
Right.
Sorry for that.
So, apologies. Yeah. Definitely, this is extremely important to have increasing in this budget. Point number one. But it is not only government role, for invest in the R&D. It has to be public-private partnership. It has to be CSR-driven initiative. It has to be the effort of a private sector. It has to be, come through the various channels and not only government, because government has a limitations of budget. But this is a very good initiative from government. But if we make it like a all sector coming together, including academia, because in the developed worlds, the universities, they have a massive R&D budget, okay, as compared to the Indian universities. So government, academia, private sector, CSRs, and overall as a corporate sector combining, coming together, we have to see at least, I mean, in my mind, 10% of the total GDP if we want to ahead of times.
Right.
Initially we can have a 2%, then we can gradually increase, but the benchmark has to be anything more than 5% for sure in terms of R&D spending. So government can take such more initiative. Definitely 20,000 crore is not at all enough, because the kind of figures Ashish and Pramod was talking about for the development of such a large language models to train them. Mr. Iyer was talking about quantum computing and supercomputers. This budget is definitely nowhere. If we want to stand ahead in terms of what kind of a development the other countries are doing, especially China and US. So, I mean, definitely it's a great initiative, but it's a good beginning. It's not a great beginning.
I'm thankful to really we express my gratitude because your mother was in hospital. Still, you spare your time to give your thoughts to us, sir. Really, I have so many other questions from you. Like, still, you are in hospital. You are talking to us. I think we are proud of you, sir. But you are helping us being a researcher in India with entrepreneur, your zeal and enthusiasm to help the people. I think it is wonderful. I must appreciate.
My pleasure.
Sir, I'm really thankful. I'm coming to
Good.
Mr. Dhawal Rawal. Dhawal Rawal is the CMD of Avyodhya Bharat Project Private Limited, a leading project management consultancy company specializing in industrial cluster development, techno-economic services, turnkey project solution for industry businesses and government agencies. A mechanical engineer by profession, he brings strong technical and leadership acumen to large-scale industrial initiative, driving high-impact development across sectors. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Gupta.
So I think we kept you last because we want to have your experience being a running to industry, being a CMD of a project, which is leading project management. I think this is the most important aspect for our listener, for our entrepreneurs. Give your thoughts, sir, in this subject of the research development innovations. I think this is a major aspect. How you feel that your industry can we utilize these funds for the betterment of the country so that the technology you can develop in-house instead of borrowing from other countries. That means self-sufficient, as our Honorable Prime Minister is telling that we should be self-sufficient. Self-sufficient in all aspects. So when we are talking about the defense, we are exporting now. We are never thinking that we can also export the defense equipments to other countries. So many things we are undergoing a change. We are talking about the manufacturing of the Apple. We are replacing that in our all mobile banking, other things, UPI. Technology has come up. Even a small person, even a rickshawala is keeping the mobile. You can pay through a mobile. I think this is a transference in India. Have any thoughts, Mr. Raval? Your thought, your message, I think, will be listened by our entrepreneurs very keenly. They must be interested. Listen to your practical experiences. Please give your thought, Mr. Raval.
Yeah. Thank you, Gupta ji, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. First of all, we are discussing about the innovation, research, and development.
Yeah, right.
So, what I understood, innovation is a you can call it a one-time thing that you invent something, you invent some product, some solution. Research is not a one-time because in today's era there is a highly competitive industrial environment in every sector, and today you invent a product and somebody is coming up with a upgraded version of that. So like everybody is running at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. To win this race, you should mark up 110, 120. So in today's era, the innovation is a contiguous. So this scheme of research and development really we should utilize it. The industry should take the you can say the fast forward steps. What I believe, our industry, aerospace and defense, we have we are not a very big company, but we have invested around 60 crore rupees in R&D.
Oh, very
And,
nice. Yes.
and every year we are investing 5 to 6 crore in the areas of the unmanned systems, UAVs, high altitude solutions for the army. What I see, the opportunity is, because now we are running out of time, so in very brief, I will tell you that in aerospace and defense, there is a, you can say, a bottleneck of having the design to testing and certification facilities. Okay, so I believe that the uh, industry associations, chamber of commerce, academia should set up the common facility centers utilizing this fund, where you develop a product, you design a product, you develop the prototype is tested over this facility, and you get a certification. Like for the drone certification, today there is a we can call it a system of a type certification, and in type certification it takes sometimes 3 to 6 months to 9 months time for a certification of a product. So what I believe, uh, this kind of the from the design, prototype development, testing and certification facilities should be created across the country using this huge fund, and not a single industry, but the collective effort or a cluster model should be created for the research and development in aerospace and defense.
Important, sir. What you're talking about, the cluster research project must be there. Because SME sector, they are very small. What they will do it? Even a startup, they don't know. That means if you have a cluster of the person, give the fund to them, let they can sit together, develop something. I think this is a good suggestion which you are giving to the government. I think it can be mostly useful for that. For a cluster, you can have a research project, something like that. So I'm thankful to all of my eminent speakers because I am short of time. Still, I want one word from you, a last word, a last advice to our people who are listening to you. Any advice, 1 minute or one word or two words. So I am starting with the Mr. Mehta. Mehta, sir, you want to say something?
Yes, I think this is definitely a great initiative by the government, finally recognizing the need for long-term R&D and patient capital for industries like biotech, climate tech, maybe even defense and drone, which have long paths towards profitability, but are vitally important for our economy and the growth of our GDP and frankly for the happiness of our people. So highly encourage startups to avail of facilities that have become available to them through this scheme, and it's definitely a great step for the growth of the entire industry. Thank you.
Very much. Mr. Iyer, sir.
So I'd like to tell our startups that there won't be any investment or capital expenditure for the purpose of quantum computing. I'm discussing with Microsoft on Quantum Office 5.0, where it will be on subscription. When there is a need for getting into the quantum computer, like that of Google, again, the codes will be given in the Microsoft Quantum Office. This I would like to. There's no expenditure at all. A subscription, which will maximize and optimize their effort of finding out how they are doing. The sort of a dark value is being eliminated. We don't create, we create efficiency. That is important.
Very important. Promotion of it.
Yes, sir. So, as a part of the whole conversation, I believe that India should have Center of Design Excellence. I think that is one of the important things which is missing right now in India. The moment we have Center of Design Excellence, I think it will add a lot of values to all the such investment which is actually initiated by the government, and it actually helps to convert the transaction to experiences. It helps to convert functions to feeling. It will help convert template to meaning, things like that. Because sometimes when we talk about design, we always talk about the aesthetic of the design, but there is a lot of there inside the aesthetic. I think one initiative which government has to take to think about design from a larger perspective. I think design has a power to change the whole world, along with the technology, definitely. And I think this is something that we all have to think about, because India has a great opportunity to become global design hub at this point of time, sir.
Vishal.
Yes, I have, four specific suggestions. One is definitely this is a great initiative, but, we need to have a multiple such funds to increase the R&D to GDP ratio from 0.7% to at least, 5% or so. That is one suggestion. So it should have a multiple funds, like 100,000 crores is not enough for India to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047. Point number one. Point number two is, when fossil fuel economy is moving toward renewable energy, and we are definitely removing the imports of oil and gas, now moving to the renewable energy. Same way, electronics imports also will be going forward reduced because of these semiconductors and such other technology initiatives. So that is good enough. But at the same time, the fund should be exactly available to the startups, just like a direct benefit transfer on the meritorious basis, on online basis, without any human intervention, without any bureaucratic interventions to the startups. We have to simplify the funding mechanism. This is much complex funding mechanism. It will be not so useful for the across the startups who are really in the meritorious standing. And the third thing is that the VDD process or the TDD process, what we call it, technological due diligence, has to be institutional grade to qualify these startups, for the availing these grants or a loan or equity available in this funding scheme. Okay, so they have to remove these all the bottlenecks. Okay, right now it is looking extremely good, rosy picture, but the real scenario out of possibly 300,000 or 400,000 startups, they should target that at least top 10% startups should be eligible and entitled to get this benefit of this scheme. And number of such schemes should run it parallelly sector wise. Okay, then it would be a great initiative and it will helpful to the country for the nation building. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dhaval, sir.
Yeah, one very straightforward advice that adopt the cluster model, use this fund to set up common facility centers for design and certification. Because when you are saying that you are competing with China, you should have the product quality that is up to the mark. And for that, SMEs and small industries cannot invest more in the quality and certification, but it can have a collective effort in a cluster model where design, testing, and certification facilities across the various industrial cities should be set up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So in the end, Mr. One person is there, a participant. He raised one issue. Shrikant, he is telling about the salary or higher salary are being paid for a research project people. K.K. Gupta section nicely going on. RSET scheme should be given to the clean tech startup grant to convert patent into innovation by the startup many times. We need to have a good salary to a research people at least for 1 year. Regard. I think there is no question for that. He is asking for a high salary definitely. For a research project, cost is involved, hard cost is involved. And for that, you can have a good return also. They can definitely. It is a high venture where you have to incur losses also. Because research project is paying, it is also you have to spend a huge money for that. So in the end, being a research in India, we are a merchant banker, we are investment banker, we are preparing a DPR, dot project report, we are conducting technical economical viability study, we are a syndication loan, we are giving training to the bank, so many things we are giving. If any assistance is required from the research in India, definitely we are there. In the end, I am thankful to my team who are the architect of this program. We're talking about Joginder sir, Mr. Vishwas, Mr. Ayush, Mr. Lokesh, and other team member who are the off the screen. They are not visible over the screen, lekin they are the main person. We are just coming and talking. They are preparing talking points. They are preparing everything. They are conducting with the speakers. I think they are putting a lot of labor, inviting the people to webinar. Today webinar is more than 500 people. And beside the electronic media, other people are also there listening to them. So I request all the participants, only one person has say something. So please give us your feedback. Because this type of venture, what we are doing this is a research and development program, which we have conducted after 3 or 4 days of the Prime Minister's speech. It is architect of Mr. Bhavesh. So he told me that Gupta, that we should do it, this program. So I'm thankful to him, especially. And he arranged all the speakers also, all the eminent speakers. When I see the speaker list, so intelligent people, so I'm feeling this is the first time in the history of research in India where we have conducted more than 270 webinars. Such a learned people are with us. I have no word to express my gratitude from the behalf of the research in India and myself for such a experience sharing with us. So we have no word to again to express our gratitude to all of you. I'm thankful to you. So because time is up, I crossed the time. Because still I am thinking so many things are in my mind to talk to you. So learned people, I must appreciate. We will try that another webinar if time permit us to be also hold it. I request all the participants, please give us your feedback, honest feedback to us, and what program you want to have on the resurgent banner. So we will try up to your expectation. Only Saturday, we are also doing one webinar on SME financing. Viksit Bharat 2047 with the SME Association of India, where they are having 50,000 members. And this Saturday, we are organizing for 2 hour physical conference in Bombay. So that is also our, we try that we should be helpful to all the entrepreneurs, especially SME sector. So if any assistance is required, we also floated a banner where we give a free services to all my SME sector. Any advice they require from the research in India, they can write to me. So we'll give them free advice for that also. We will not charge anything for that. So please do avail such opportunity from us. Try to come up so that as a research in India, we can be helpful to you. Thank you very much. The last word, I'm thankful to all my eminent speakers, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all the participants also. Thank you, Ravi, sir.
Thank you.
You are the architect of this program. Thankful to you. No word to express my gratitude to you, sir, personally. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.